Talking Shirts is presented in partnership with White Oak Cottage. For more information, visit whiteoakcottage.co.uk.
Hello and welcome to episode number 111 of Talking Shirts. I'm Mike from Hull KR Shirts, and today we're going to take a look at this 2023 diamond shirt, which was worn by Elliot Minchella. So I've been really vocal about this 2023 diamond kit as being sort of one of my favourite alternate kits of all time. And those opinions haven't changed. It's just a kit where I just think it was absolutely fantastic. I love the way that the navy, the royal blue, and the red all kind of intertwined to create this really strong striking design, which was kind of a modern take on a retro redo. The white of all the sponsors and the club crest just really does help just with the aesthetics of the shirt. And it's one where I will just never ever get bored of looking at it. If I could only ever wear this shirt for the rest of my life, I'd probably be content. I'd be a little bit disappointed in one sense because I absolutely love the pink of this year. But when it comes to this diamond design, it was something that was really striking and one that really did sort of take to me really, really strongly in terms of its aesthetics and just that appeal that it overall had. So yeah, the kit. So yeah, the diamond kit, as we've just briefly touched on, the three colours there that are really kind of, strong in terms of the design. So, the body of the shirt is actually navy, which is what you can kind of see beyond all of the colours in the navy, in the royal blue and in the red there. The diamond design was taken from the 1992 to 1994 away shirt. We did have two renditions of that, one with Riding Bitter as a sponsor and one with John Smith as a sponsor. And that was an agreement that changed partway through a kit cycle, which meant that the design was kept the same, but the sponsors changed from one season to the next. Riding Bitter was first, and then it did switch to John Smith's. Back to this one that we've got in front of us here. So yeah, as I've said, all of the sponsors, the maker marker by Oxen, and obviously the Hull KR club crest, they all feature in white. And having those all sort of in uniform, in the same colour, really does allow them to sort of synchronise the way that they boom off the shirt, shall we say, because the white really does offer a really strong juxtaposition to the colours that are being used on the shirt, which does kind of deliver with quite a lot of impact. A lot of people look at it and think, yeah, they're non-offensive, they blend in quite well. But equally, I think that they actually stand out quite a lot. So, as brand sponsors in AC Enviro, Aspire Academy and Connexen, I think they'd have been over the moon with the way that their logos shine off this shirt. As much as they're non-offensive and it doesn't really take away from the shirt design too much, the way that their logos do sort of like boom off the shirt, it must be a really, really good sort of strong selling point for those guys. This shirt had kind of a crew collar. It does have like a twin layer to that there, with kind of the invert in the middle. Really nice, really nice. Sits quite well. This is obviously a plain shirt, so the one that was on the replica was slightly more sort of wider than the plain one, but you would always expect the plain shirts to be that little bit more fitted. And then on the front of here, we've got the Oxen gel grips, which obviously provide that support when it comes to the ball coming flying in at somebody's chest. It's easier to kind of like hold the ball against these gel patches. This one here does kind of show a little bit of wear, but not too much. I have only been able to photo match this shirt to one game. There is the possibility that it was worn in 5 different games, but I have only been able to photo match it to the one game so far. As we take a look round to this sleeve now, we have got the RFS sponsorship, and again that appears in white as we've been able to sort of cover across the entirety of the shirt, and once again that logo does stand out quite strongly. And then we've got the University of Hull, that's a heat applied sponsor, and we've spoken about these quite a bit on all of the 2023 shirts. This was a late edition sponsor in the slot that the Super League normally keep to be able to put their own sponsorship on, usually quite at a late date. That does be made available to the clubs, so they're able to use that sponsorship placement should they be able to. And obviously we was fortunate enough to be able to get the University of Hull's branding to feature across there, so that has been heat applied. So on quite a few of these shirts this just started to peel. This one has been applied with a little bit of a crease in it, but there isn't any pulls or tears or sort of anywhere where it's starting to peel. So yeah, that's in quite good nick, this one. As you can see, the diamond design does continue, so it's almost got like its own section in itself where, the diamond design does continue. Obviously we've got a little bit of red and the royal blue featuring quite prominently on this sleeve here. as we turn it around to the other side, we've got Easy Buy, and that's a dye sublimated sponsor, very similar to our Arafis on the other side. That's been dye sublimated in at time of manufacturing, and then we have got the Betfred Super League competition patch. So the Super League like these to be heat applied, and again this is something we have talked so much about when it comes to sleeve patches on shirts. As I say, we're 111 episodes deep now, and I would have said nearly all of those episodes will have some sort of competition patch on the sleeve. There is only one or two which don't actually feature that. So yeah, on this one here, it has been heat applied. It reflects light really well, and if there is ever a mud bath of a Super League game, this is normally kept quite clean, so that the Sky cameras are able to capture this sponsorship and this branding, as well as club photography as well. And again, the design for the diamond does continue onto this sleeve as well, featuring the royal blue and obviously elements of the red design there. So that's been the front and the two sides. Before we talk about the back, a little bit about Elliot Minchella, here is a quick word from our sponsor.
White Oak Cottage is a 2-bedroom luxury holiday cottage set in the stunning Lincolnshire Wolds. It has 2 ensuite bedrooms, a hot tub, wood burner, Wi-Fi, electric vehicle charger, and is pet friendly. It is ideally situated in the Wolds, yet only 15 miles from the coast and 25 miles from the historic city of Lincoln. For more information, visit whiteoakcottage.co.uk.
And welcome back to part 2 of episode number 111 of Talking Shirts. Before the break, we was talking about the 2023 alternate diamond shirt, and this one, as you can tell, was worn by Elliot Minchella. So yeah, we'll have a little bit of talk about the back of the shirt, and then we'll get on to discussing Mini in hopefully quite a bit of detail. So the back of the shirt. So yeah, the diamond design does continue onto the back. On the replicas, it did feature all the way across the back of the kit, but on these player spec shirts, there is what we call a box that goes around the back of the shirt, and that has been placed there to kind of remove the design of the shirt, just so it doesn't cause any sort of visual conflict with the name and the number which have been applied on the back of the shirt. Now, if the dye sublimation design features quite faintly or very subtle, it is possible on some shirts where it is able to stay in place. We saw this with the 2022 away kit, which was the yellow and blue icons of Hull kit. That did actually feature a lot of its dye sublimated design on the back, even though it was being obstructed by a name and number. It didn't matter too much. Whereas the diamond one with the royal blue and the red was deemed to be too strong to not have that block out patch on the back. I'm really glad that they only did that on the playing shirts, because if anybody bought a replica and it had this big patch on the back, which you do see some clubs do, I do feel like it wouldn't have delivered as strongly to the replica market as much as it would the playing shirt market. So keeping it in the box just on the playing shirt, which I thought was a really, really smart move. As you can see here, we've got the Robin icon that features in that very prominent place now on the back of the kits, as we saw debut in 2022. And as I've said before, I can see this being quite a strong feature for kits moving forward. We've got Harrison Solway's branding. Once again, that features in that white colour that we've seen across the entirety of the shirt when it comes to all of the brand partners that have had their logos displayed across the shirt. And then at the bottom, we have got the higher base branding as well. And once again, all of this white does stand out quite strongly across the reverse of the kit. As you can see, this one's had Minchella and number 13 heat applied to the back. Minchella's name has clearly been sent in a name block, which is what you would expect for players who have started a season at a club, especially in the last couple of years. The Super League have been providing those to clubs. So it's a case of when the letters come, you're not having to line up an M, an I, an N. They're sent in a block. So the gap between each letter, in theory, should be perfect. And on this one here, it looks like it's been nailed absolutely perfect. Obviously, we've got squad number 13, which was Minchella's number for the 2023 season. Previous to that, he had been number 17 for a little bit. Previous to that, he was number 27. So obviously now, he is locked in, pardon the pun, at number 13, our loose forward. And obviously for the 2024 season, our club captain as well. So yeah, a little bit about Minchella. Minchella, he signed for the club ahead of the 2020 season. He signed with a host of his mates from Bradford. Quite a lot of them have gone on to make the names either at Hull KR or at other Super League clubs. It's fantastic to see that young group, a core group of Bradford lads come through, make really big waves now in the Super League. Minchella, from 2020 up to 2023, he played 72 times for the Robins. Obviously that is much higher now because he has made appearances during the 2024 season, but I've not included any of those appearances in this video just purely because I film ahead of time, and I don't want the numbers to be misrepresented at some point. So up until the end of the 2023 season, he'd made 72 appearances for the Robins, and of those he'd scored 13 tries as well, although he has contributed a few little more during this 2024 season, which has been really good to see, because I'm sure that's an area of Minnie's game where he'll look to be targeting. He does so much in terms of contribution to the team that people don't always necessarily see. It's always nice when he gets his name on the score sheet, and that accolation that he gets is definitely very well rewarded. He's our leader, he's our captain, he's our talisman. He's somebody who represents the Robins with pride. His form during the 2024 season has seen him go on to represent England against France in that in the midsummer series across in France. I'm sure he would be incredibly proud. The pictures that you saw on social media with his father, his partner, and his child just shows you how sort of proud he must have been to represent his home country, and something which I must admit is very well deserved. His performances for Hull KR this season have been shown by that international call-up. Congratulations, Minnie. Hopefully the first of many. So back to this shirt. So this one, as I've said, I have been able to photo match it to a game. Now the game I've been able to photo match it to is a good game, but also a bad game for certain reasons. So the game that I've been able to photo match it to is the playoff semi-final against the Wigan Warriors. Now, naturally, a shirt that was worn in a semi-final is something that I'm really, really happy to have, and obviously this one was worn in quite a big game. Now, the Robins did come out on the losing side that day. Now, it was frustrating day, one where we kind of built ourselves up in the hope of getting to that first sort of maiden grand final, and something which I'd like to think and pray and hope that we're not too far off achieving, but we were second best by some margin that day. It wasn't meant to be, but hopefully in the near future, that's something that we can really sort of, sink our teeth into and actually make it to a grand final with the hope of being able to lift some silverware at the end of it. So the diamond kit was actually worn 7 times during the 2023 season. We had a 4-3 record, so we won 4 games in it and lost 3. Of those 7 games, Minnie did play in 5 of them, so there is quite a lot of an opportunity for me to be able to photo match this shirt to other games. But once I have photo matched it to one, then I am normally quite content with that. The 2 games that Minnie didn't play were Huddersfield away, which was arguably one of the best wins of the 2023 season, and the other one was the game against Wigan in the Super League the week before the Challenge Cup final, where a lot of first team regulars didn't feature. So it makes sense that obviously Minchella didn't play in that game either. We had some really good wins at Castleford and Salford in this kit. Another one against Wakefield as well. So, like I've said, it was a kit where I am really, really fond of it. It's going to go down as one of my all-time favourites. Every year I always say, how the Hull KR managed to keep topping things, and they managed to keep surprising me. We're going to head into the territory of sort of getting towards the end of 2024 soon. Plans for 2025 are already in the works, and it's going to be amazing to see what happens in the close season when we eventually get there. Not that I'm wishing away the rest of this season, but it's always exciting for me to see what kits we're going to be wearing, especially as we head out of the end of a year, heading towards the beginning of the next. I hope you've enjoyed watching this episode of Talking Shirts. Like I say, episode number 111 now, so we are really flashing through these episode numbers. It's getting quite high now. I did wonder if I need to start back at series 2, episode 1, to stop the mouthful of episode number 111. Just making sure that I get those correct. Anyway, I digress. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please check out the back catalogue of episodes. Keep in touch on social media, and keep enjoying. Thank you very much. See you all again soon. Bye for now.